As part of the AWS Developer Certification, you will need to know how to securely store and rotate credentials. You will also need to know this as your everyday job as a developer. I'm going to show you how to answer a question from the certification exam, as well as show you how to deploy the correct answer in under 2 minutes. So here's an example question from an AWS Developer Certification. Let's go ahead and go through it together, and then we'll look at the right answer and the incorrect answers. So the question says that a company is migrating a legacy application to Amazon EC2 instances. The application uses a username and password that are stored in the source code to connect to a MySQL database. The company will migrate the database to an Amazon RDS for MySQL DB instance. As part of the migration, the company needs to implement a secure way to store and automatically rotate the database credentials. Which solution will meet these requirements? So before we go into the possible solutions, I want you to keep in mind that we always want to be looking for keywords as well as the solution. There's always going to be more than one solution opportunity in an AWS question, so we're looking for the best answer. So the options here is summarized. We can use environment variables in an AMI. We can use systems manager parameter store. We can use EC2 instances environmental variable storage, or we can use AWS secrets manager. So if you're taking a look here, you may already know the correct answer, but let's go ahead and share it together. So the correct answer would actually be D. We'll go over each of these to discuss why or why not it might be the best answer available. So what I've done on the screen is I've gone ahead and underlined some of the keywords that we need to be looking at, as well as the services. AWS likes to use their services as well as the best opportunity service. And that may be the most optimal, cost-efficient one, or it may be the best performing one. So let's take a look at each of these solutions and see why or why not D is the correct answer. So before we do that, two of the questions called out environment variables in AMI and EC2. So we're going to diverge for a second and talk about what environment variables are in these two storage types. So an environment variables is a way to store a key value pair in an encrypted manner using KMS that are available throughout the system. These are not hard-coded inside the application code, but instead on the OS level. So this is why it would be available inside of an AMI or an EC2. While it is possible to use this as a solution to the question that we have, the Secrets Manager is a better solution available to us. On the screen I have an example of how you may use environment variables inside the OS. So let's answer why A and C, which were the questions about environment variables, may not be the best answer even though they would work in this instance. So even though they could work, the reason that we're not selecting this is because they're not the best possible answer. AWS Secrets Manager offers better opportunities as well as storage types, as well as easy usage. It is also designed for secrets such as these, and that's why AWS has emphasized using that. They want you to use the best service that is designed for that opportunity. The other one that you may consider is AWS Systems Parameter Store. And while this would also allow you to store these key value pairs, Secrets Manager offers more functionality available to you, and that's why you would want to choose Secrets Manager instead. On screen here I have a comparison chart of Secrets Manager versus Parameter Store. I recommend that you pause for a second and take a look over it, and then we'll understand a little bit more of why you would choose Secrets Manager instead. Alright, and then we take a look at the correct answer, Secrets Manager, of why we would want to use it. I've highlighted some of the reasons why it would be a good solution to our issue here. Is that it rotates, manages, and retrieves database credentials, exactly what we're looking for, and eliminates the need to hard code sensitive information in plain text. And then the biggest one is built-in integration with many AWS services. So we know the correct answer to the question why yes or no to some of the other options. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to use Secrets Manager real quick. On the screen you'll see that I have Secrets Manager in the AWS console pulled up. To go ahead and create a new secret, it's very simple. Just go ahead and click Start Store New Secret. The option for Amazon RDS is already our default, so we'll go ahead and stick with that. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a username and password. We're going to keep the default encryption key type. And then here's my test database that we're going to be using. You'll have to choose a name for your secret. I'm going to leave a blank description and no tags in this instance. Just go ahead and hit next. And then the question talked about automatic rotation, so let's go ahead and set that up real quick. We're going to change the rotation period to every 3 months or 90 days. And then we're going to create a Lambda function that automatically helps with that rotation. And then leave the rest of it default. Go ahead and review the setup that you have available for you that we've already taken a look at. And then what's pretty cool is that you already have the code down here that you would use in order to retrieve and store new credentials. So for example, I like to use Python. It walks you through how to use Boto 3 to manage those credentials. And go ahead and hit store. And it'll take just a couple of minutes and it's good to go. So when done with the lab, you may look at deleting the secret. Just so you know, secrets will persist at least 7 days when you go to delete them. So you'll want to keep that in mind. And that's everything for this short. Go ahead and stay tuned for the other videos that we have lined up for you.